Hey, good evening, everyone. It's weather for Weather Geeks on this Tuesday, May the 12th. No Weather Geeks yesterday. The weather was just too busy at this time last evening to record a video. Of course, we had quite the evening last night with a lot of reports of wind damage and some pea-sized hail in some spots, some heavy rain, vivid lightning show. I want to thank everyone who sent in pictures on social media and on our email address, weatherpics@wfmj.com. Some tremendous photographs out there. We have some really talented weather photographers across the valley. Well, thankfully, that kind of weather is now out of here, and what we are left with is certainly a cooler weather regime for the near term anyway, but looking back at the first 11 and a half days of the month, look how warm it has been across New England, the Ohio Valley. It's kind of the opposite of the winter pattern. The winter pattern, of course, featured a lot of warm weather in the west and cold weather in the east. Now it's a little bit reversed, and May is off to a great start in the temperature department. And here in Youngstown, through the first 11 days, third warmest first 11 days of May on record. Only 1936 and 1965 were warmer. If you saw my post on social media a couple of days ago, a warm start to May does not necessarily mean it's going to be a warm or hot summer. Some years it works out that way, some years not. I've been talking about how this summer probably will go in the record books as a pretty typical one, temperature-wise. We're going to have a lot of hot days. We're going to have a lot of below-average days, and it'll probably end up somewhere near average. It's going to be hard to sustain heat waves for more than a few days, though. Not to say there can't be one or two of those, but a lot of those kind of situations doesn't look like that kind of summer because of a few different factors. But anyway, as we take a look at what's going on this evening, boy, it looks like it wants to rain out, but it's not going to. It's just a slate gray overcast now as we head towards mid-evening. 7 o'clock hour temperatures, 57 Youngstown, 60 Newcastle, 58 Akron, Canton. Up in Cleveland, 56 degrees. And yeah, it's a lot less humid here. The dew points, upper 30s, lower 40s. We, of course, have had a lot of dew points in the 50s and lower 60s over the last several days. So it's definitely a different feeling air mass out there this evening. On the surface map, we have an area of high pressure out across the middle Mississippi Valley around St. Louis and Kansas City. This is going to drift to the north and east over the next couple of days and eventually clear our sky out by about 24 hours from now. That'll lead to a cold night coming up tomorrow night. As you can see, across a lot of the country, it's a pretty quiet evening. Not a lot going on out there. Temperature-wise, the warmth is bubbling back up across parts of the middle of the country. You can easily see where our trough of low pressure is around the Great Lakes. There's the temperature map, and then here's the 500 millibar chart showing that trough across New England and the Great Lakes states. Now, this trough will eventually lift out and the warmth will come back, but in the near term, of course, it's going to be below average here across the region. I want to talk about temperatures as we head into the middle of the week. Tomorrow is going to be a chilly day. Temperatures tomorrow really, struggling to get out of the 50s. In fact, no higher than probably 55, 56, 57 in spots tomorrow afternoon. Then tomorrow night as the sky clears. How cold is it going to get? That's kind of an important question because we've had so much warm weather recently that, of course, a lot of people have done planting. And traditionally now we're past the average last date of the, or average date, I should say, of the last frost. But with these types of temperatures possible tomorrow night, maybe a good idea to bring some things in or cover them. Now, the NAM model here, I moved my cursor around, and it does find some spots across the valley that get down into 35, 36 degrees. I wouldn't be shocked if we had a couple of 32s, 33s show up in the coldest sheltered valleys tomorrow night, first thing Thursday morning. So if you live in one of those spots that traditionally, one of the colder spots, you often see us showing temperature maps that show a few cooler nooks and crannies. If you live in one of those spots, especially if you do, it's a good idea to cover plants, bring them in, because it's going to be awfully chilly for tomorrow night. Now, that said, Thursday afternoon will be pretty nice. Nice temperature rise. We'll get into the mid-60s, upper 60s even, for Thursday afternoon. All right, we do have some rain coming our way at the end of the week. Let's talk about Friday. If you have outdoor plans or anything going on Friday, here's what we can expect. Warm fronts moving in from the west. And let me throw up the isobars here, lines of equal pressure. That's not what I wanted. That's 500 millibars. Let's see, isobar, there we go. All right, so on Friday, high pressure slipping off the east coast, and a warm front can be drawn somewhere right in here. So that's going to trigger a couple of showers. I doubt Friday's a washout, and I don't expect much in the way of thunder on Friday. All right, we have a mid-May weekend coming up. That means a lot of people want to get outdoors. I've had some nice weekends lately. This weekend's going to be a little touch and go, I think. Here's Saturday. Saturday afternoon right here. And, again, we're not looking at a washout, but I think there's at least a shower or two around, possibly even a rumble of thunder coming up on Saturday. I suspect Sunday's the drier half of the weekend. This looks about the same on the GFS, but some of the other modeling would suggest that Sunday's probably a little drier than Saturday. We've got I think a 40% chance of showers on Saturday and 20% on Sunday. So each day holds at least the chance to get wet, but neither day looks like a rainy day, and temperatures will continue warming up as well. Early on next week, cold front tracks our way on Monday. This is Monday's map. Pretty good chance of showers and storms that day. And then the middle of next week will probably feature a cool down, much like we're having right now. Maybe not quite as intense as what we're heading into, but next week could play out kind of the same. A wet Monday followed by cooler and drier weather for the middle of the week. All right, real quick look at the long-range pattern here in the upper levels. Let's take a look at the weekend. Here we go. Ridge of high pressure pumping up in the east. That means, it's going to warm up. Trough of low pressure cruising out of the Rockies right in here, and that means severe weather. You bet. Late this week and heading into parts of the weekend, unfortunately, across the plain states. That trough, notice what happens to it. It kind of weakens considerably as it comes east. So while it will cool down here middle of next week, it's probably not going to be all that big of a deal. And in the longer range here's Friday the 22nd, so 10 days from now. Not a chilly pattern for us at all. Ridge centered out here. Plenty of mild air, it looks like, across the east for, around the third week of the month. So May is certainly going to go into the record books as a milder than average month. We're going to have our cool days here and there, much like we're going to have tomorrow. But overall, May should end up being pretty mild. And boy, do we deserve it. We had a warmer than average April after a frigid stretch January through March. All right, that's tonight's weather for Weather Geeks. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I'll see you tonight on 21 News at 11. If you're an early riser, be sure and check out Justice Forecast. Get you out the door on WFMJ today, starting at 5 a.m. Have a great night.